Hey everybody, it's me. It's your good buddy Thorn, and we're back. And you know what? The editor tells me that I talked too long, so we're going to have to start a part 3. Are you ready? Let's go to part 3.
Hej mot kvar det sång i liv. Vakna dikko edelige drenge. De høyre nykken på havet skri. For de...
Alright, hey, we're back. So, what we were talking about is building that Norse Larp Warrior, and we've kind of got the outfit done, and we talked about a shield, which is from Dark Knight Armory. Is made by Epic Armory, and it cost you $61. The price went up, go figure. So, but it's a very simple round shield, and that's really all you kind of need. There's a couple other types of round shields that you can get for various amounts of money, all the way up to that big round that I was using during the historic one. And like I said, it straps with a couple straps on the back. It's pretty cheap, but it's very durable. And bang for the buck wise, this is a great shield to have. So, and we also started talking about that first sword, and it's going to kind of go with what you want as a sword. There's so many different types of swords out there, various price ranges. Like I said, good Kalamazoo starter will carry you through many, many years. My Ragnar sword I've had for almost 8 years now and use it all the time. It's fantastic. It's never had any problems. A couple other choices in swords, and without getting into too much detail on swords, it's kind of like length and reach and use. So we're going to go with a one-handed sword right now to start with, and there's a whole bunch of different ones we can use. Epic Armory makes a great product called the Hybrid series. This is their one-edged dwarven short sword. And for LARP on the Borderlands, our society trades with the dwarves, it trades with the elves. So this would be a pretty common weapon. These are fantastic. Look, I mean, look at the hilt on this thing. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It is long enough to use. It is fantastic. It's not very expensive, and it's a great starter if that's kind of what you want to go for. We did talk about the Katzenberg sword. Another great starter sword, not very expensive. It is a short sword, but it is long enough to use in a fight. It's got good hand protection. It's by Kalamazoo, and Kalamazoo is quality. I'm telling you right now, kids. This is a great sword to have. Another one is a little bit different, if you're not really sure where your character's going, is this almost piratey cutlass. Let's say if you're thinking about your character wanting to be a pirate at some point, this might be a way to go. This is not too bad. It's a great little sword, and it's short. You can use it one-handed. You might not even need a shield if you're going to use something like this. It just kind of goes into your character, okay? So let's put that away for a moment. One of the other things about LARPing is you always need a way to carry your sword, don't you? You can carry it in your hand, but eventually you're going to have to put it away. So if you look back at that Landsknigget video that I made a while ago, I talk about a waist belt and a ring. And let me show you that. So for that Landskrieg, or Landsknigget, or Land Knight, 15th century German mercenary, Swiss mercenary, they often carried their sword on a ring, so that it was very easy, and it was like a waist tie. Now, you wouldn't have to use orange, of course. This is just what I had when I was doing the that video. But really, it's kind of effective. So there's the ring, and very simply put the sword through the ring. Now, it works great with the Katzenberg sword, but any sword with a prominent hilt is going to be fine in that, and it's going to carry your sword pretty nicely. Now you could bring this onto your belt, and I kind of wearing a more fancy belt today. But you could do it with a tie rope, or you could do it with a tie belt like this. And even the Kalamazoo longsword fits fine. And it's a handy way to hold your sword without having to buy a full sheath. They kind of tend to be expensive. This I bought, I think, at Michael's for about $3.50. The belt, very simple tie belt. You can make it out of just about anything. And now I have my sword. I got my hands free if I don't need to do anything, okay? One more idea for you to save cost and still look pretty good on the field, okay? All right. One of the next things, armor-wise, no, let me go back because somebody made a comment about headgear, and I kind of forgot about it in the Larp. I'm going to give you one quick trick, and then we'll be done with the head. Okay. You saw me wear the historic little cap, the 4-panel cap, I think that was. And it's just basically, it's 4 triangles in the size of your head sewn together on the inside and put on your head, and then you can put trim on it or what have you. You can make one of those very simple because it's basically just 4 triangle pieces. It's on your head. A lot of people wear drive-on rags, is what we used to call them in the Army back in the early 80s, or do-rag. And it really keeps the sweat out of your eyes and it kind of keeps the dust out of your hair and all that. A lot of people use like a patterned paisley handkerchief, and I would ask you to go away from that. Use a plain color, cut a square cloth, or even better still, use kind of like a patterned off, kind of a plain patterned piece of fabric. And this is just, like I said, a spare piece of fabric I had laying around from another project. Made it into a bandana. And put it on my head. Now this is actually 2 layers of fabric, so it's 4 by the time you wrap your head on it. It's better for colder weather. But for the hot, you can cut this down. I would, go with a cotton. Go with something that looks Go with something that looks period-ish. Like this is kind of a older style tartany weave. You know what? But you kind of understand what I'm saying. You could go with black, you could go with brown, you could go with a pattern like this, you could go with blue, you could go with whatever color. Another simple thing. Okay, why the heck were we? Hats, weapons, armor. Let's talk about armor for a minute. Starting out armor. Armor is a tough thing to talk about in LARPing because it does have a tendency to be just a little bit expensive. You can go with a leather armor, and you're still going to pay a couple $100s for it, and depending on your game system, it's still not going to give you any real value as defense, okay? Let's take a look at this. This is that leather armor. This is Epic Armory's Ready for Battle armor, and I've done the centerpiece, kind of a hardened leather piece, and it's okay. It's a little hard to put on because all the straps are in the back and it's way high up and it's hard to get to them. And it does kind of give you that Vikings Ragnar look, but really, it doesn't give you any armor points for the most part. It may be at most 1 point armor. So yeah, it gives you that. It doesn't really give you that much armor protection for the amount of money you're going to pay for it. I mean, it looks cool, and but that's really about it. Okay, so you can go with a couple different other types of that same armor. It's still going to give you that same maybe 1 point of armor. Now, let me show you something really cool that I found in my Larp box, and when Ling was just a little Ling, and he started LARPing, and he got a set of these. This was his very first LARP armor that he wanted really, really badly, and he wore these for many years. Then I think he just kind of forgot them and left them here. and they're kind of cool looking, I have to admit, but really, that's about all they do, is they look cool. Okay? They don't really give you any armor protection other than just the look. But that's fine. That's fine. They're kind of cool. And it's kind of, when I looked through the Larp box and found those, it was kind of a flashback, and it was really kind of fun to do. But armor-wise, like I said, unless you're going to pay a couple $100s for that mail or some other type of plate, I wouldn't go with the leather. It's just not worth it. We did discuss the mercenary armor from Epic Armory. This is a great breastplate. Historic-wise, a couple 400 years too late. But for LARP, this is pretty good. Gives you good protection and give you some armor deal. The tassets, speaking with some other people that have bought this breastplate and tasset set, nobody's tassets fit the holes. But the breastplate itself is kind of cool, and I'm going to show you what I did with this in a later video to make it more functional. I recommend this if you're ready for a metal armor. This could be a good first piece because you could add a gorget to it, you could add pauldrons to it, you could add arms to it. You could really build a nice armor set from this base piece. All right, but really, starting out LARPing, we're pretty good how we are right now, aren't we? So let's go outside and take a look at some of this stuff. Kind of mirroring the historic piece. And I'm going to show you what a Larp Warrior should kind of look like, especially when you first get started, okay? Hey everybody, we're outside. It is a lot different than it was yesterday. Over the weekend we had about 8 inches of snow. It's a lot melted now. It's about 40 degrees outside. So, hopefully we got the mic working today, and everything is working fine, and we're going to show you this stuff, all right? Now, as you can see, I've got my basic stuff on. I got my boots, I got my leg wraps, I got my trousers, tunic, under tunic because it is a little colder today, and then I got my little head wrap on, and yeah, I don't look that bad. For a basic starter, yeah, this is pretty good. I could actually go and do NPC pretty quick with this too, without too much effort. So, let's take a look at what this basic warrior is going to look like from the LARP perspective, okay? Now, weapons-wise, we've talked about that, but I want to kind of mirror that story approach. So first thing we're going to talk about is that scamasax, okay? 1 second. So the very basic weapon that we're going to have is that scamasax or a knife or what have you. And I got mine stuck in the back of my belt. And so here it is. This by itself, I could kind of defend myself a little bit, but I'm going to be awful defenseless. So let's get that axe out, all right? I've got a couple different ones to show you today. Now you see my nice axe, and this is great. This can be used by anybody. It's a very effective weapon, especially when we pair it with that shield. Okay. It's a basic fighter. Okay, I'm ready to go. I've got my $61 shield. I got my $80 axe. I'm ready to fight. I got my backup weapon just in case. All right, but another little thing that we could go with is like a throwing axe. And I had a friend of mine at Larp Norse make me a couple of them. And they're just little hand axes. This would be pretty common for your basic warrior. And they do kind of fly pretty good. If I'm back this far, and the wind kind of took it, but you kind of get the idea, right? Throw a couple of the weapons at the enemy before you charge in. So, axe and shield, pretty good look. The next step is that spear. Like I said, I'd like to see a lot of people carrying spears. You can carry your axe in the second hand and use it to defend. But if you're the basic warrior, you're going to have this spear. This, like I said, this is that Norse Epic Armory hunting spear. It's a hunting spear. So if you're fighting in the shield line, you can really do a lot of damage with it. one-handed. It's the same pretty much look as we had from a historical, but a little cheaper, a little bit more realistically priced for the starting Larper. So let's say we've got our spear, we got our shield, we got our axe, we got our scamasex, but we want a sword. Once we've been adventuring for a while and raised some money, adventure-wise, then we get our sword. We could get our nice Ragnar sword, or we can get the dwarf sword. I really like the dwarf sword. It's nice, short. It's like a chopper. It really could put some damage onto theoretically bad guys. So you could really bring the herd in on this. You could defend with it very well. It's nice, short. It's usable. And if for some reason you get a shatter spell and it goes away, got my axe. We're good to go. But let's say dwarves aren't your thing. You want to go with something a little different, a little better. We do have elves in the Borderlands. And this is a fantastic representation of that dwarf, or that elven scimitar. It's very quick, it's very light. It is a fantastic weapon. This was originally a Kalamazoo many years ago. They don't make this style anymore. But if you're looking for an elven weapon, it would fit very well within what we're doing. Okay? So don't feel like you have to do historic weapons in Larp. You can do the Elven Warrior very easily. It's a great weapon. Once again, get shattered. Hey, I got an axe. Oh, second shatter spell. Hey, I got a little knife. Okay, so that being said, we're pretty much done with your basic Larp guy. All right, this is a pretty good look. This is very cost effective. Do I even need the shield? Not necessarily. If I've got my spear, I can fight. Spear, I can block people, I can stab people, I can cut people. Effective weapon. It is a nice weapon. Not enough people carry him. That's all I'm saying. Alright, because the weather is kind of windy and cold, I got one more thing I want to show you, and then we're going to head back inside, alright? When it does get a little chillier, like the head wrap is really helping me out here today, you don't want to do a square cloak or a half circle cloak. A square cloak works great. It's a very simple flannel, and it just drapes around you, and it does keep you pretty warm. You can throw it over your head, and it does do a very nice thing. You want to push this up one more little bit. I got something for you, alright? Alright. So, this is not real fur. This is a fake fur I bought online. I've used it for various projects over the years. But, you know what? My remnant here, I could broach this in, and it gives me a nice kind of waterproofy, warmy, barbarian-y look. And it's nice. It's just these little things that you can add to this that really bring the whole character out, okay? Alright? I think we're done. I think this is the end of part 3. If you have any questions, you have any comments, drop me a line. I always try to answer everything that I got. Somebody had a great comment the other day about the music was playing at the end of this video. That was a group called Man of War. This album, because it was way back in the day, the album's name was Gods of War, and the track was Gods of War. It's a fantastic song. It's on YouTube. Look it up. Get it, download it, play it. It's fantastic. Alright, for now, this is your buddy Thorn.